All right, everybody. Let's. All right. All right. We may not be able to have you be able to see me tonight. I apologize for that. Let me start again. It's a pleasure to be with you tonight. This is a very important topic. If you have cortisol levels that are fluctuating all over the place, it's very difficult to have peace of mind. So what I hope you get out of this is not only better health, but also a greater peace of mind. There'll be plenty of time for questions and answers. So let me go through the presentation and then open it up to the questions that you may have. So let me answer first. What is cortisol? This is a stress hormone that exerts many beneficial functions. We tend to think of substances either being good or bad, but with hormones, it's important we have the proper balance. We need cortisol. It's very, very important to our health. But when cortisol levels are too high or the normal rhythm of cortisol is not proper, it can result in significant health effects. And this can include depression, anxiety, insomnia, reduced insulin sensitivity leading to obesity, especially the accumulation of belly fat. Cortisol can break down muscle, brain tissue, and bone. It can lead to high blood pressure and heart disease, many other hormonal imbalances, and poor immune function and frequent infections. We have a big issue with high cortisol these days. The biggest reason is a combination of our lifestyle and diet. Our lifestyle is stressful, and chronic stress is the number one factor that leads to elevations in cortisol. Sleep disturbances lead to higher cortisol levels. Even a single night of poor sleep can lead to higher cortisol levels the next day. Poor blood sugar control is a huge factor in America these days. Depression and anxiety lead to higher cortisol levels, and higher cortisol levels lead to depression and anxiety. We have many people are on corticosteroids. The side effects of corticosteroids mirror those of high cortisol levels. Caffeine and alcohol can also lead to high cortisol levels, and then inflammation can lead to higher cortisol levels. So it's not just emotional stress or psychological stress. Physical stress can lead to high cortisol levels, especially inflammation. Okay. Now, as I said earlier, we tend to put things in black and white. Things are good or bad. With stress, I'm going to tell you a little bit of stress is a good thing. I liked what Dr. Hans Selye had to say. He was the godfather of stress research. No one can live without experiencing some degree of stress all the time. Stress is not even necessarily bad for you. It is also the spice of life. For any emotion, any activity causes stress. But of course, your system must be prepared to take it. So it's the old adage of the straws that break the camel's back. I'm going to help you remove as many straws as we can, and at the same time, strengthen that camel's back so you can deal with more stress. When we are under stress, it leads to activation of the sympathetic nervous system. This creates the classic fight or flight response. So anything that's important to get away from a tiger is happening when we activate this sympathetic nervous system. So you can see all the effects on the left of activating the sympathetic nervous system. The flip side is activation of our parasympathetic nervous system. This portion of our autonomic nervous system promotes relaxation and healing. So you can see that this is the state we mainly want to be in. And interestingly enough, studies show through using techniques such as meditation, prayer, and regular exercise, we have a greater parasympathetic tone. So that's very important. Next, stress also leads to activation of what's called the hypothalamus pituitary adrenal cortex axis. And when you get activation of this axis, you get the release of ultimately cortisol from the adrenal glands. And that's good in some regards if a tiger's chasing you, but the long-term effects of high cortisol I've already touched on. And cortisol is one of the few hormones that raises as we get older, and the higher your cortisol levels as you age, the faster you're losing brain cells. So if you want to keep your wits about you, you got to get your cortisol levels under control. Now, there's a couple of ways we can measure cortisol. You can measure it in the blood, you can do urinary collection, you can even measure it in hair. But by far, the best method is the salivary cortisol test, or the adrenal stress index. This is a non-invasive measurement of cortisol levels in saliva, and it reflects free cortisol. It's not bound to protein, so this is the most active form. This is the test that you want to do if you are interested in knowing if you have not only high cortisol levels, but how they are in the morning, in the evening. As we awaken from our sleep, cortisol levels are rising. And as we get ready for bed throughout the day, our cortisol levels should be declining. Sometimes that normal circadian rhythm gets disrupted. A salivary cortisol test or adrenal stress index is going to tell you if that's what's occurring. So it's not just important to do one measurement. You really should be doing a morning and a late evening cortisol assessment to see if your circadian rhythm of cortisol is active and is functioning properly. You have to deal with stress. Stress is the biggest cause of high cortisol, and it's just imperative that you have a strategy to deal with stress. I focus a lot on this topic in my Thrive program. I'll tell you more about that in just a minute. So a comprehensive stress management program involves developing positive coping strategy, stabilizing blood sugar levels, nourishing your body and brain, getting a good night's sleep, and managing your life, your time, your relationships, your lifestyle. These are things you have to put thought and energy to if you want to live in a healthful way, in a mindful way, and it's especially important if you are dealing with stress or high cortisol levels. Now, we can also help significantly reduce our stress and get our cortisol levels down by activating the parasympathetic nervous system. We do this through deep breathing exercises, meditation, prayer, progressive relaxation, self-hypnosis, and biofeedback. In my Thrive program, if you haven't signed up for this, please, I developed this program for you. It's a 10-minute-a-day program for 21 days. 5 minutes is a short video from me, and the other 5 minutes is working through a worksheet. I guarantee you, if you do this program, it's going to ingrain the habits that you need to thrive in life. In the first day in the program, I teach you about my priming exercises to pull in the things that I want in life: love, joy, peace, prosperity. These are things that are very much something that all of us want more of in our life. And I teach you how to do that, how to get more of that. And I also believe that through this practice, you're activating that parasympathetic nervous system, and you're on your way to dealing with stress more effectively. I learned years ago when I first started practicing, if I really wanted to help somebody change their life quickly, the easiest way to do that was helping them get a good night's sleep. We need sleep. It's essential for our energy levels. It's essential for our cellular repair and healing. It's essential for having high immune function. It's really essential for having higher brain power. We dream to consolidate memories and work through our emotional challenges as well. And a lot of people equate sleep quality to REM sleep. The normal sleep architecture, I've got a slide here. It shows you that normally we're in these 90-minute cycles, and we slide into deeper layers of sleep in the first session, and only a few minutes of REM sleep. Now, that's about 5 minutes, but then as we start progressing through additional sleep phases through the night, our REM sleep will increase. And you can see that if someone's sleeping 8 hours, the last 30 to 60 minutes is REM. It's that dream time. And I think dreams are really important. Now, how much sleep do you need? It depends. I recommend getting a Oura ring, or using your Apple Watch or some other sleep monitor to see your own personal sleep cycles and see how well you are sleeping. Because if you're not sleeping well, life is harder. And think of a time when you slept well. Life is easier. Your life is brighter. People are happier. You're happier. You have more energy. You think more clearly. You make better decisions. So it's really important to get a good night's sleep. Now, I like my my typical night. For me, I generally will sleep for about 4 hours, and I will cycle into that deep sleep and that REM sleep. And then I generally get up for an hour, and I might work, I might get caught up on the news, but a lot of times I just think, and I think about things that are important to me, or things that I want to accomplish, or just process different things in my life. And I found this to be really helpful for me to have that peace of mind in my waking hours. And then I go back to sleep, and I find that when I do this, most of that second sleep I get is spent in REM, and I have wonderful dreams that teach me so much about myself and challenges I may have, or sometimes dreams don't make any sense, but I think we should examine them anyway. I think they're really important. It's been said that a dream is like, that's not examined, is like a unopened gift from God. And I believe that. So I have the slide here, why we dream. When we're dreaming in non-REM states, it's often in black and white, and it's more associated with our body processing memories than our emotions. But dreams are very important for consolidating our memories and learning. I just think it's critical that you dream. And one of the things we learn about people that are on sedative hypnotic drugs is they have disturbed dreams. And a lot of times when people are weaning themselves off these drugs. They say, "Oh my God, I'm dreaming, but they're really intense." Well, your subconscious mind is waking up to that connection. You just got to work through it. They'll get less intense over time, but we need to dream. This is Freud's comment. I changed it just a little bit. He says a dream that is not interpreted is like a letter that is not opened. I think it's a gift, and so we should open it. Avoid the use of sleeping pills. And I know this is really hard for a lot of people out there, but it's not conducive to a long, healthy life. These drugs, they have numerous side effects. They increase the risk of dementia, and they have a tremendously negative effect on our life expectancy. They're highly addictive. I encourage you to use natural products instead. This is some of the data on sedative drugs and mortality. Very damning data. We see that the prescriptions for these Ambien and earlier drugs, the benzodiazepine type drugs, these drugs are associated with significant increases in mortality. Even with less than 18 doses a year, it had a 360% increase risk in mortality. The higher the dose, the greater the mortality risk. This is a very sobering statistic from 2010. Hypnotics may have been associated with 320,000 to 507,000 excess deaths in the U.S. alone. Automobile accidents, as well as other accidents, and all-cause mortality increase with sedative hypnotic use. So we still need a good night's sleep, but here's something you want to consider. Never take a pill that has more side effects than you have symptoms. And this is what we see with most conventional drugs. If you really look at the side effects, there's in the long-term effects of these drugs, there's little rationale for their continued use. In most cases, we can get people healthy using natural approaches, diet, lifestyle, attitude, and other psychological therapies, and the proper use of dietary supplements. If you want to get a good night's sleep, the first thing you have to do is eliminate disruptors of sleep or dreaming, stress, depression, faulty blood sugar control, nutrient deficiencies, alcohol. And you see I've got THC, CBD. CBD interferes with dreams. It's not a good natural choice for sleep help. So I just want that to be known. Obviously, too much caffeine for many people can lead to insomnia. Others can tolerate caffeine quite fine. There are many prescription drugs that lead to poor sleep, particularly the stimulant type drugs. We need to get enough physical and mental exercise every day. If you totally exhaust yourself physically, mentally, every day, trust me, you're going to find yourself sleeping better. I think that is something that I try to do on a daily basis. I try to put as much as I can into every day, physically, mentally, emotionally, and my sleep efficiency, the time it requires me to get to sleep, is very short, 3 to 5 minutes. Hormonal and other disturbances in brain chemistry, and then low levels of serotonin, melatonin, or GABA activity. Don't rely on drugs to create a chemical balance in your brain. They're incapable of doing that. Natural products can help support proper balance of neurotransmitters, but I don't think that happens with drug therapy. One of the big causes of nighttime awakenings is being on the blood sugar roller coaster. And if you have a waist circumference that's larger than your hips, you are like, even if you're thin, you are likely on the blood sugar roller coaster. It's not so much how low your blood sugar gets or how high. It's if it's very volatile, and we now have these great diagnostic tools at our disposal. You can do an EKG on your phone. You can have an attachment on your arm that measures blood glucose levels. It'll send it to your phone, and you can monitor your blood sugar levels over a 24-hour period. And I'll talk more about that in just a minute. To stabilize your blood sugar, I'm going to give you my dietary recommendations. So everyone's familiar with the traditional Mediterranean diet pyramid. You can see that at the bottom you got bread, pasta, rice, and other grains and starchy foods. And then we go to vegetables and seafood and these other foods. Here's what I want you to do. I want you to eliminate sweets, and I want you to eliminate all these carb sources. Get your carbs from vegetables. Don't get your carbs from bread or pasta or even rice. Focus on vegetables to get your carbs. And 2 servings of fruit are also a good idea. I think that's important for health and also for blood sugar control. You can use my recommendation with the traditional Asian diet pyramid as well. Again, just get rid of those starches and grains. When we were burning 4,000 to 5,000 calories a day, it was important that we loaded up on the carbs. But most people aren't burning that much energy in a day. And when they are eating these carbs, they're greatly stressing their blood sugar levels. And when that happens, they're on this blood sugar roller coaster. If I'm on a beach and I'm in a hammock and I'm just relaxed, the sun is shining, I can hear the waves in the background, it feels wonderful, I'm super happy. But if my blood sugar levels drop rapidly, that causes the release of cortisol. And that can lead to you feeling nervous, it can anxious, and stressed out. So we're learning how important this is. Now, I was introduced to the importance of continuous glucose monitoring over 20 years ago through Dr. Michael Lyon. We were working on a project with Natural Factors, developing a dietary fiber product called PGX, and we started utilizing 24-hour blood glucose management or monitoring. And so you can see with this first graph on your left, this person is on the blood sugar roller coaster, and this person would generally wake up in the middle of the night when there was a quick drop in their blood sugar. Not a big one, doesn't have to be a big one. And then during the day, their blood sugar levels, even though they were in mostly in the normal range outside the breakfast, the blood sugar levels were still volatile. We put this person on PGX before meals, 2.5 to 5 grams. Started out at 2.5 and worked up to 5 grams, 1 scoop before meals. And we literally flatlined their blood sugar levels. Now, I don't know of any other substance that's going to produce that level of blood sugar control. I've been at this field of study for a long time. There's nothing that works to flatten out blood sugar levels as well as a low glycemic diet plus PGX. And when this happens, significant health benefits are achieved. Here's a case history. A woman had significant stress in her life. She had a She was involved in an automobile accident. She started gaining weight, and she more than doubled her body weight. You can see that she would go to bed around 9, and her blood sugar levels would start climbing. This is midnight to midnight, and they would start crashing, and she'd wake up at 3 a.m. Even though she still had high blood sugar levels, the drop made her experience all of the symptoms of hypoglycemia, and she would binge on carbohydrates. And then her blood sugar levels, because of the insulin overshoot, would still be okay, even with a massive carbohydrate meal. Then she'd wake up late in the day, and she'd be on this blood sugar roller coaster all day. Well, she lost all that weight pretty much within 3 months, and she reported that within 3 days. She slept through the night for the first time in years. And this ability to stabilize blood sugar levels leads to better night's sleep. If you have diabetes, if you're eating too much carbohydrate, get those carbs down and start taking PGX. It really provides some unique benefits. We showed back in 2007 that it activated the L cells that produce GLP-1 and actually increased the number of L cells and the amount of GLP-1 that they're able to produce. For controlling blood sugar levels, you only need 1 to 2.5 grams before meals. If you need to lose weight, 5 grams before meals. This will promote satiety and weight loss. This works wonders. Now, usually people are concerned with any fiber about flatulence. With PGX, it's very well tolerated, yet about 10% of people still have some gas with it. If that happens, just go to the lower dose and work your way up gradually. You can take your medications with PGX, just take them 1 hour before or 1 hour after of taking PGX. It doesn't interfere with nutrient absorption, but it does change the time of the absorption with drugs. And many drugs require a rapid rise in blood sugar or blood levels to show their effect. PGX can dampen that. I'm coming out with a new fiber. This is one I'm really excited about. It's tapioca fiber. It's a source of what's called resistant dextrin. And it has significant health benefits like any fiber. It's by far the best prebiotic type of fiber. And it has also been shown to lower cortisol. And the effects via cortisol reduction are very interesting. It's through binding gut endotoxins. Endotoxins are toxins of mainly lipopolysaccharides from gram-negative bacteria. And this resistant dextrin has been shown to bind to those endotoxins, and that reduces the absorption. And these endotoxins have a detrimental effect in blood sugar control, and that disrupts our cortisol secretion. So by getting rid of the endotoxins, we lower the cortisol levels. Really cool mechanism of action. If you're eating a high fiber diet, that's phenomenal. You may not need some additional fiber, but a lot of people aren't getting the amount of fiber that they need. So I think this is another option you have in that fiber department. As far as natural sleep aids, these are all well known. What I like to recommend is we have to reset the sleep-wake cycle. Take 3 to 5 milligrams of vitamin B12 in the form of methylcobalamin in the morning, first thing in the morning, and then take 3 to 5 milligrams of melatonin at night. That'll help reset the sleep-wake cycle to its proper timing. How do you know if you have a faulty sleep-wake cycle? If you have a hard time getting a good night's sleep, and yet you're tired and can fall asleep during the day, that's the real key. So vitamin B12 in the form of methyl B12 in the morning, 3 to 5 milligrams of melatonin at night. These other sleep promoters, magnesium, I would start there, 350 to 500 milligrams at night. I like the powdered versions. I like magnesium citrate. There's very little difference between magnesium forms. I know there's lots of posts on it. I think we even put some posts out saying that magnesium malate is the best for muscle fatigue, and magnesium threonate is best for brain health, and magnesium bisglycinate is best for metabolic health. I mean, you're splitting hairs. The key is to get a good amount of magnesium through your diet and through supplementation every day. I take it at night. It's part of my nighttime toddy. I think it's a really good habit to get into, and that'll lead you to a better night's sleep. I want to talk about the omega-3 fatty acids really quick. These are adaptogens. Adaptogens are compounds that help us deal with stress more effectively. EPA, DPA, and DHA all influence the fluidity of brain cells. This results in our brain either functioning properly if we have them, or improperly if we don't have them. We need high levels of these in our diet. We need to get at least 1,200 milligrams per day of the omega-3, long-chain omega-3 fatty acids from fish or fish oils. That's going to get you above that 8% omega-3 index that's associated with a lot of health benefits. One of the health benefits, if we are able to get those higher levels of omega-3 fatty acids in our tissues, is reduced cortisol levels. It'll lower cortisol levels about 25%. It also reduces stress-induced aggression and hostility. It'll chill people out. Now, it's not a quick fix. It takes some time, but it's certainly an important supplement to be taking on a daily basis. Again, 1,200 milligrams combined EPA and DHA. That's a good daily dose of these compounds. They definitely exert a lot of anti-stress effects, particularly in our brain. So these are the practical recommendations for inflammatory or other therapeutic indications. The dose should be 2,000 to 3,000 milligrams of these long-chain omega-3 fatty acids. And I like the omega-3 index. If you've never done one, you can. It's one where you can get a filter card through the mail, put a drop of blood on it, send it in, and see where you stand, or you can talk to your doctor about it. I mentioned fish oils are adaptogens. This is the definition. It's an adaptogen is a substance that helps our ability to deal with stress and exert a broad range of beneficial effects. And they generally have an ability to put a balancing effect regardless of the direction of a disturbance. So with cortisol levels, an adrenal adaptogen will help raise cortisol levels if cortisol levels are low, and it'll help lower cortisol levels if they're high. It will also help with, sometimes people have a faulty daily rhythm of cortisol. As I said, normally the cortisol levels rise in the morning and decline through the day. Sometimes people have just the opposite, and they can really benefit by taking an adaptogen. It helps reset that. The most popular adaptogens are Chinese or Korean ginseng, rhodiola, ashwagandha, or black seed oil. I want to give you my recommendation as to which 4 of these I would recommend based upon what your needs may be. For example, with Chinese or Korean ginseng, Panax ginseng, if you have a significant illness that you're recovering from, if you've used corticosteroids such as prednisone for more than 6 months, if you're dealing with an almost incapacitating amount of stress, I would recommend Panax ginseng. and I give you the dosage recommendation here. It's based upon the ginsenoside content. That's really key in terms of getting the benefits. So standardized extracts, I give you the dosage range here. The dosage is based upon the ginsenoside content, providing 10 to 20 milligrams 1 to 3 times daily. It's the strongest adaptogen. Rhodiola is the best choice for immediate feelings of relaxation or anti-anxiety effects. Dosage is based upon the level of compounds known as rosavins. And there's an article on iHerb that I wrote on adrenal adaptogens. If you go to iHerb and you just type in the search bar adrenal adaptogens, it'll show you probably supplements first, but you'll see a tab that says Wellness Hub. Click on the Wellness Hub, look for articles that I've written on these adrenal adaptogens, and that'll if you didn't have a chance to write down the dosage, I provide the dosage in those articles. Ashwagandha is by far the most popular adaptogen out there. It sells 10 times the number of ginseng or rhodiola. The most popular ashwagandha and the one with the most clinical research is KSM 66. It's a root extract standardized to contain 1.5% withanolides, and the dosage is 300 milligrams twice daily. I'd recommend giving that one a try first. That's the gold standard in ashwagandha, KSM 66. Now, one that I think in terms of lowering cortisol the best is ThymoQuin. ThymoQuin is the gold standard in black seed oil. Now, this was the first substance that I put in my label as a dietary supplement. And I did that because it's not appreciated. Black seed oil is not appreciated, and the gold standard of black seed oil, ThymoQuin, is also not appreciated enough. It's standardized for two things primarily: minimum content of the active compound called thymoquinone and a maximum level of free fatty acids of 2%. The free fatty acids counteract the benefits of the thymoquinone. So, if you want to get the results that are going to lead to reductions in cortisol, you got to go with ThymoQuin. It's really the best form. Black seed oil has a lot of health benefits, so it meets that criteria of being an adaptogen. So it's beneficial to all these different tissues. It's a great brain food. It's a great metabolism help. It's great for your cardiovascular system, and it's phenomenal for your digestive system. So I recommend you give this a try, 500 milligrams twice a day. There are other black seed oil products out there in the market. These are the benefits that are unique to ThymoQuin. It's been shown to reduce salivary cortisol levels by 37 to 44% in athletes. These were marathon runners that were training for a marathon. It boosts mitochondrial function. It supports optimal metabolic health. It enhances immune function, and it potentiates the functions of many other nutritional ingredients, such as omega-3 fatty acids, flavonoids, vitamin D3, astaxanthin, and curcumin. So it makes everything work better. Oh, I forgot to fix this slide. So this slide was looking at the level of cortisol reduction with KSM 66 versus ThymoQuin. And with KSM 66, you're going to get about a 30% reduction, which is good. With ThymoQuin, you're going to get about a 44%, up to 44% reduction. So that's even better. Okay, we pretty much hit my target in terms of time. I wanted to hit this target, so we had plenty of time for questions and answers. I apologize for the technical difficulties with my microphone at the beginning. But these are the summaries of the key points that I've tried to make. High cortisol is associated with many detrimental effects to health. Chronic stress is a major cause of high stress, so you have to have a stress management strategy. And our sleep quality is directly related to our ability to handle stress. You want to handle stress better. You want to be happier, have more energy. Focus on getting that good night's sleep. Also focus on stabilizing your blood sugar levels. You're not going to be able to cheat your way through having healthy cortisol levels if you eat a diet that is too rich in refined carbohydrates, sugar basically is what I'm talking about, refined white flour products, and even healthy starches. You've got to use that what's called the glycemic load to monitor your portion size. And the easy thing, as I showed you in my dietary pyramids, stay away from starches, stay away from grains, stay away from these concentrated sources of carbohydrates. Get your carbohydrates from fruits and vegetables. Omega-3 fatty acids are very important for improving our ability to deal with stress. I think the omega-3 index is worth getting done, just so you know that you're above that 8%. If you don't do that, I would recommend taking 2,000 milligrams per day of combined of EPA and DHA, because that's likely the dosage that's required to get everybody over 8%. Lastly, I do believe in using botanical adaptogens, and I gave you the criteria I used for which one that I would take. I take the ThymoQuin. I started taking that, and it's a supplement that I noticed that I had more. I feel like it's good brain food for me. I have good brain energy with ThymoQuin. Okay. Now, I got some questions. I'm going to go through in order. And so if you have a question, I'm going to stay on this call until I've answered all of these questions. And let's see which one I see. I see a lot of comments saying no sound. So I apologize for that again. And let's see. Okay, good. All right. Okay. The question is, could EMF from my Fit watch interfere with sleep? I doubt it. And it's easy to find out if it does. Take it off and see if it changes. There's Alexa, my team member that does a phenomenal job with my social media. She asked me quick questions about my rating of different things, and probably shocked people that I rated a cold plunge at a 1. And the reason I did is I just don't think it moves the needle that much. And there's other things where people are looking for the benefits of that they are hoping to get from cold plunge. We could easily get those from other techniques, and I don't think the EMF is a big deal, but put it away and see put it away for 3 nights and see if you notice any improvement. The program is recorded. Yep. Thank you for watching the replay, and please forward it to anyone you think might enjoy it. Lynn is asking, which adaptogen should you avoid if you've had estrogen positive breast cancer? I don't think it's a big issue. There's been some concern about Panax ginseng. If I don't think it's an issue, but if you're wanting to be super safe, then I would use one of the other 3, either the rhodiola, the ashwagandha, or the ThymoQuin. Do you use ashwagandha with someone with thyroid issues? I think it might have some benefits. It has some good hormonal effects. We see that with cortisol. So I don't see any issue with ashwagandha. Make sure that any ashwagandha that you use is from the root. That's the safest recommendation I can get. It is a nightshade family vegetable, so we wouldn't eat the greens from potatoes, and we wouldn't make extracts from nightshade leaves. So we shouldn't be eating these ashwagandha extracts that are not derived from the root. That's just an easy, safe way to avoid any issue. The question is, what are my thoughts on GABA? GABA is a great nutritional supplement. It has been shown to improve sleep. That's the natural form, like pharma GABA. If you're going to use GABA, make sure it's the natural form. Studies in Japan showed that the synthetic form did not work. It's not going to lower cortisol. Pharma GABA can lower cortisol. There's a new GABA probiotic. It's called, it's from Verb. It is a company. It's LP815, Lactobacillus plantarum 815. You're going to start seeing that on the marketplace. I'm coming out with it as a sole entity. I really believe in it. And a daily dose of this probiotic will increase the GABA production in your gut by 100 milligrams, at least 100 milligrams a day. And it's just, there's a lot of other health benefits produced by this bacteria. So and Tara's asking, how do I fall back to sleep after the bathroom visits with BPH? Interestingly enough, we were just talking about GABA. And there was a study done in Japan in men with BPH, and they found that they were able to sleep more soundly, and that led to fewer nighttime awakenings. So I think that would be something worth trying. Obviously, working on trying to relieve those symptoms, taking a good high-quality saw palmetto extract. Make sure you're getting at least 600 milligrams of the fatty acids and sterols. So a lot of times people aren't getting the right dosage with some of their natural products. With saw palmetto extract, you have to get 600 milligrams of the fatty acids and sterols to see the improvement in prostate function. Jennifer's asking, can high or regular cortisol levels be a cause of nighttime overactive bladder? I don't think so. I think what's probably going on there is just some, either some interstitial cystitis or just some irritation to that lining. There's a few different things that I could recommend that you give a try. The first thing I would recommend is try that magnesium citrate. See if changing that pH in the urine and in the bladder a little more alkaline. See if that will shift and reduce that irritation. But I don't think that the high cortisol is leading to an overactive bladder. Let's see. More questions. Oh, is there an optimal time to go to bed for brain health, optimal sleep and managing cortisol fluctuations? Yes, I think there is. And I believe in napping. And I've really been blessed. I've been able to work at home, so I can, I can take a power nap once or twice during the day, and anytime I need to get a little recharged. But everyone's different, and I shared my sleep cycle just so people would recognize that we have to find what works for us, and that works for me. And and I remember I was talking to someone who knew a lot more about sleep than I do, And I explained how I slept, and he goes, "Oh, that's how it was done for many years before we had electricity. People would go to bed when the lights went out, the sun went down, and then they'd find that they would wake up in the middle of the night, kind of awake, and so they would use that time to read by candlelight or communicate or whatever, and then they'd go back to sleep, and that became known as getting your second sleep. And so that was a fairly normal sleep cycle prior to electricity. And I think that we fall prey to the notion that we have to, once we go to bed, we have to stay in bed sound asleep for 8 hours. And I think if you awaken in the middle of the night and you're having a tough time getting back to sleep, you just don't fight it, and and just try to flood your mind with positive thoughts, nothing to dwell on. Sign up for my Thrive program, and in my Thrive program, I share how I prime myself, and I found that that's a really good use of that awake time in the middle of the night. And what I'm doing is I'm pulling in those emotions that I want to experience more in my life. And, if you really think about it, any feeling, any emotion that we have comes from within us. And we have the power to create emotions as well as experience them from what goes on outside. We can stimulate those pathways inside of us. And the more you stimulate those pathways on your own, the easier it is for them to be accessed by what's going on in the outside. So that's why I call it priming. You're priming yourself for just a better life. And you can use that time you're in bed to not struggle getting back to sleep, but to find a way to back to sleep by focusing on associating to these emotions. I can't recommend that enough. Even if that's the only day that you do of my program, please sign up to do it. I just think it's added so much to my life, and I want it to add to yours. Next question: can high cortisol cause diarrhea? Not typically. Not typically. There's got to be more going on there. So there's probably other things that are going on with that. The question is, what is the ingredient in PGX? PGX is a mixture of 3 fibers that are coalesced to form a new fiber. The 3 fibers are konjac root fiber or glucomannan, alginate, and xanthan gum. So those are all gel-forming, GRAS-approved fibers. Where do you get the saliva test for cortisol? There's a lot of companies that market this adrenal stress index directly to consumers, and I would go with a reputable lab. The one that's still out there that I think was the very first one was from Diagnostics, and it's still around, and you can you can go to their website and they can help you find a provider, or maybe even get a kit. But there's a lot of companies that are offering at-home adrenal stress tests, and as long as the lab is CLIA approved, that's CLIA is CLIA. Make sure the lab is CLIA approved. If they are, it's a good lab. Okay, let's see what else we got here with questions. Is kava safe within normal doses? Yeah, it is, and we've learned a lot about kava. It's too bad that it's got a black eye. It seems like a lot of these highly effective herbs, when they become extremely popular, they lead to some kind of overzealous cautions, but I think kava is safe with at the right dosage. But there's so many choices that we have out there with stress, anxiety, and insomnia. I haven't recommended kava for many years since it was taken off the market. So I think I think newer compounds are coming out all the time. I'm going to be coming out with the formula that I call the ultimate sleep formula. This is coming out probably in 3 months or so, but it has some new ingredients that are really effective in getting at the root cause of some of these issues with sleep, which include cortisol. But again, you got to deal with stress. You got to deal with blood sugar control. You got to reduce inflammation. Inflammation alone can lead to elevations in cortisol. Oh, good. Jean's offering a testimony. She likes rhodiola in the morning, ashwagandha in nighttime. That's fine. Someone asked, what about low cortisol? For low cortisol, we generally focus on, again, the adrenal adaptogens, and another one I would add to that is licorice. Licorice is a good adrenal activator. Okay, let's see. What are my thoughts on algae-based omega-3 supplements compared to fish oil in terms of effectiveness and absorption? Okay, that's a good question. So let me give you a good answer. I think that algae-based supplements are probably the future. I don't like, for the general adult, I don't like a DHA only algae supplement. I like that EPA and DHA to be close to a balance, or even 2-to-1 EPA to DHA. While in the developing fetus, DHA can be used to promote brain development. 90% or more of the DHA in the adult brain is not from DHA in the diet. It's converted from EPA. So EPA has been shown to be very effective as an antidepressant. DHA, no effect at all, because it's not getting into the brain. So I think an algae source is as good as a fish oil source if it's not, if for an adult, for general health, if the EPA and DHA levels are equal or 2-to-1 EPA to DHA. That's my thought. Now, if a woman's pregnant and she's just wanting the DHA to ensure the child is developing properly, the brain and eyes are developing properly, then DHA that seems to be effective. But I think for the developed brain, there's no question that DHA does not, taking it in the diet does not increase the DHA level in the brain. That all the DHA, almost all of the DHA in the adult brain comes from EPA. Okay. Oh, wow. Person was taking ashwagandha. They had they lowered it more, and she's asking, what about L-theanine? Does it affect those with low blood pressure? Wow. Yeah. So you have low blood pressure, but I assume you're wanting the adaptogenic effects from ashwagandha. I would go with the ThymoQuin. I would give that a try. Now, remember, a true adaptogen is going to have a balancing effect. So in someone who has low blood pressure, theoretically, an adaptogen should be able to bring it up to the normal range. Nancy's asking me, am I producing a new Dr. Murray Bible? I'm putting so much content on iHerb right now, and it's great because we can edit articles if there's new information, and it's that Wellness Hub is free. So I'm constantly referring people to articles that I've written there, and I probably would like to update the Encyclopedia of Natural Medicine. It's been I think 14 years since Dr. Pizzorno and I updated that, but yeah, we'll see. I mean, books aren't that popular these days. People are going to the internet. Jennifer's asking, is PGX a fiber like psyllium? So PGX is a gel-forming fiber. Its gel-forming capabilities are 20 times greater than psyllium. So 5 grams of PGX would be equal to 100 grams of psyllium. And so if you take psyllium, probably 5 grams, you cannot imagine taking 100 grams. So 5 grams of PGX is equal to 100 grams of psyllium in terms of the bulk that it produces and in terms of the health benefits that it produces. Linda's asking me, what supplements do I take? I have on my website, I need to update it a little bit because I've made some changes. I have a list of the 27 supplements and a brief description as to why I take them. If you go to my website, drmurray.com, and you just go to the articles, it's one of the more recent articles, so it'll show up there. And I'm going to update that this week. Let's see. Yeah. Okay. Let's see. Yeah. So, Antero, with fish oils and fish oil supplementation, one of the keys to see the benefits is the omega-3 index. And in studies where they used fish oil and it did not raise the dosage was either insufficient or the form may not have been ideal. And if they did not achieve a greater than 8% level in the omega-3 index, they didn't see health benefits. So that's really the key, is getting that threshold. And for some people, they need a higher dose. The average person, 1,200 milligrams a day of EPA and DHA combined, that's the total amount of omega-3s, can get that 8% level. But for some people, they may need 2,000 milligrams per day. They need a higher dose. So the testing kind of determines that. Can someone take too much fish oil? Yes, it's possible. When you get levels above 12 or 13% on the omega-3 index, it may increase the risk for if you cut yourself bleeding a little too much, or if you get in a car wreck, those sort of things, or if you're going in for surgery. But when we're keeping things at that reasonable dose, that's very, very safe, and that's been shown over and over and over again. There have been over 1,000 double-blind, placebo-controlled studies with fish oil, so we have a great deal of safety data. Okay. So in regards to dealing with any low adrenal function, it's not as common. I mentioned licorice. Licorice contains a compound called glycerotinic acid. This can raise blood pressure, so you'll have to monitor your blood pressure. But in terms of low adrenal function, I found that to work really, really well. Now, someone asked about Cushing's. The Cushing's syndrome is synonymous with high cortisol levels, and with Cushing's syndromes can be caused by long-term stress. It could be caused by long-term use of corticosteroids. It can be caused by some sort of tumor or some significant insulin resistance and weight gain. All can lead to having a diagnosis of Cushing's. But Cushing's just basically relates to high cortisol levels, and that's exactly what we've been talking about today. Comments on NMN. I'm going to send you, because I wrote an article on NMN, and I think it's a fantastic supplement. In our kind of rating the supplements, I rated it a 5, and the reason is that I think it's a stopgap measure. I think it's important, but what's really important is preventing the breakdown of NMN that we naturally produce, and the body has very creative ways to make NAD, and we can support that body in its ability to produce NAD by flooding it with flavonoids, and that's a big part of my diet, a big part of my supplement strategy. I just posted an article here that I wrote on iHerb about NMN, and it talks about the importance of it says what it does, but it also highlights the importance of having a lot of flavonoids. I'm going to also grab that article that I wrote on adrenal adaptogens. Okay, I'm going to go to that and then get that. Okay, I'm sending you that link to that article as well. I still write a lot better than I talk, and it's and the reason is that when I write, there's so much information that I can share. And sometimes it's hard to condense it all down. But when I write, I have more time to really be more concise and provide better information. So I love these webinars. I'm going to do one. I'm going to do one in a couple of weeks because I want to make up for the snafu and now I don't, people can't see me. I think that's a big part of it for me, thinking that you can actually, see me. That helps to, create the connection for both of us. Let's see. Yeah. Connie says, I'm wired from dinner till midnight. I drag in the morning till afternoon. Wow, I would probably try something drastic, like maybe eat significantly earlier in the day, and then just have a small snack of some sort before going to bed. I would try something. I'd really change that up. And I'm not knowing if it's related to cortisol. It could be that you could be getting your cortisol levels could be low in the morning and high at night. That would make you feel wired. So, so you may want to do that adrenal stress test to see if that's what's going on. All right, let's see. I think I went through as many of these questions as I could. There is a new fatty acid, the one that they found in dolphins, and it's something that we can make. I'm not sure. There's not enough data on it right now for me to offer a significant opinion on it. I've looked at it, and I'm not convinced. So I think there's we only have so much money we can spend on our health. And I like giving people options that provide a great bang for their buck. And this is from the guy that's taking 27 supplements every day. But I would not recommend that for most people because it's an expense, and we can go a long way in reducing our supplement bill by focusing on those other areas of health that are so important: our diet, our lifestyle, our attitude. And again, I want to get you to my Thrive program. It really crystallizes all the things that I think are important in being as healthy as you possibly can. I'm 67 years old now. I have great vitality. I have great health. I have great peace of mind. I thrive, and that's why I put that program together. I want people to feel as good as I do. And I could have put it in a program of some sort or a book, but I want to get as many people as I can through my program, and really hope they see the value in it. Sometimes when you give away things for free, people think it's not of any value, and I hope that I've put enough into it that people recognize that it's extremely valuable, the recommendations that I'm giving. And I turn on Instagram and YouTube, and I see all these I'll call them so-called health experts. Some of them, I don't know what their education is, but they're saying things that aren't going to move the needle for you, and sometimes they're just saying things that are flat out wrong. Now, there can be opinions out there, and people can have opinions that differ, but in a lot of things, when we're talking about health, it's not about opinions. It's about what are the facts. What are the facts? What does the research show? What does the data show? What is the rationale? What's the logic? There's just a lot out there that doesn't make any sense to me, both in the conventional world and in the alternative world. So I hope people understand that the recommendations I give are designed to move the needle and make a difference in their lives. So with that, I just want to thank you for watching. It was a great experience for me. And next time I'm going to make sure that we test this thoroughly, so we have both my audio and video working at the same time. So God bless. Have a great night. And until next time, be well.